Don't you see your family enough?
And T-shirts are a big deal. Brian thought that was crazy. Like, T-shirts are a big deal at family reunions.
Yes. You know when you go to Cedar Point and you see everybody in the same color T-shirt?
Yeah.
I always feel left out.
Oh.
Right? I'm like, where'd my T-shirt? So,
we did that at Disney. We did that with the kids. That was fun, but not Cedar Point.
I lost one of my kids at Disney one time. So Jacob's a little kid, and Levon says, I'm going to go get coffee. I'll be right back. And he's playing on this playground. And I realize I don't know where he is. Now, mind you, I wanted to find Jacob, of course, but I was also thinking, if she gets back and I don't have this kid,
oh my goodness,
I'm in big trouble.
Hello.
So, right, and she's walking back. I'm like, Jacob. I found him. Like, she's like, what, everything okay? I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine.
Oh my goodness.
She had no idea what was going on in the 10 minutes prior to her returning with our $50 cups of coffee.
Was it packed?
Was
it one of those days?
Oh my gosh, it was packed. And so we're at Disney in Florida. I think we're the only ones speaking English.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I'm in a foreign country. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
But foreigners, people from other countries love America. This is their dream trip is to go to Disney or Florida or to see New York City.
Yeah.
That's how great our country is. People long to come here.
There's a joke among Dominicans and Latinos, but a lot of Dominicans that are here, that live here. They were like, how do you recognize a Dominican, a person that just came from DR in New York?
They have chickens with them.
They walk around with like this because they get all amazed with the building.
Yeah. The first time I went to New York, the guy that I was meeting somebody, and he says, look, don't walk around looking up the whole time. You're going to get robbed.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I get it.
For real, yeah.
So I was coming from LaGuardia one time, and I was taking a cab into the city. And the cab drivers have this thing where they'll test you to see if you're from town or not. And he's like, hey, you want to take the tunnel or the bridge? And that's the test.
Wow.
Right? So if you say the wrong answer, and I don't even know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
But what I said to him kind of conveyed, don't ask me that question.
Yes.
I can't say it here. But.
Do you like New York or California's feeling? Like what, East or West Coast?
Well, the idea of California is so nice. San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
It's so beautiful. It is the most beautiful weather.
Yeah, perfect.
But when you go there and you see what people pay to live there for the privilege of, I just think this is crazy what they voted for. This is crazy what they're doing and paying for and saddling their citizens with. So I like Ohio.
You do?
I love Ohio. When you think about Ohio, we don't have hurricanes.
Yeah.
We rarely ever have an earthquake.
Tornado.
And when we do, you're like, well, is that an earthquake?
Yeah, for real.
You don't know. It's not like the earth is opening up and swallowing your car.
Yeah.
The taxes are low. The schools are pretty good. If you could just deal with January and February and March,
yes,
we have lovely summers. We have Lake Erie. We have a lot going for it. This is a great place to raise a family.
And two things. One, yes, the November, for me, it's November through like February. Oh my goodness. And then the clouds. And so Len and I, our goal is to buy a house in DR and then like go back and forth when we can. But the other thing was, when I first moved here, it stuck out so much. People are so nice here.
Especially me.
And I know to you it sounds weird because you're from here, but I moved from the East Coast. Oh my goodness. And first I noticed it and I was just like, why are people so happy? Like, whoa, calm down.
They all say hello.
Yes. And then I got used to it. Went back and visited the East Coast and I was acting the same way and people looked at me like, what are you doing? And wouldn't even respond. People are really nice here.
When you go to Florida in the winter, everybody's from someplace else.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows anybody there. They kind of travel in a clique and they maintain that clique.
Yeah.
And so it's very different when you go there in the winter. Like if you stay on a barrier island or rent a condo, a lot of people will rent a condo for 3 months. And one of the things that people will say to me is that it's a little isolating because you feel like you're in this cocoon and nobody wants to make friends because they're leaving in 3 months. And so I think people underappreciate what we have here, and it's easy to do because it's Cleveland.
You got it all the time.
We got a lot here.
We do.
Ohio in general, not just the Cleveland area.
Yeah, Ohio is awesome.
Yeah, I like your idea of getting something in the DR.
Oh yeah.
To do in the winter we're thinking about, my wife is going to work for 2 more years. School teacher.
Yeah.
She didn't really get paid that much more to stay later, and her pension maxes out. So probably we're going to winter in Florida for the first couple of years.
Florida, wow.
Yeah. I have a brother that lives there, so
okay.
It'd be nice to see him on a more regular basis. I don't know if he's thinking the same thing about me.
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
Dave's here. You should find out before you go. Then you won't, man. No, I'm sure he'd be happy. Charles is here. What's up, Charles? He says, good morning, family. I have big news. I just got another new job. Woo! Charles, I'll be able to join you all on overtime. I've still been listening in the mornings. Welcome back and congratulations on your new job.
I have a question for Charles.
Go ahead.
Why did you get fired from your last job?
Oh.
Why can't you keep a job?
Oh.
Why do you have to keep getting new jobs?
Let us know, Charles. John, Dr. John, remember him? He's Meisenheimer. He's like a doctor.
Weisenheimer.
No, I guess.
We call him Weisenheimer.
Oh, yeah. He says, our financial advisor is suggesting we utilize a universal life insurance policy to increase our needed insurance amount while also providing a tax-deferred growth. The advisor, NW Mutual, said 8% growth is expected. I've never heard much about this type of plan, but I was wondering if you would suggest this investment strategy to high-income earners.
I do like permanent insurance, especially for high-income earners. I wouldn't use a universal life. I would use a variable universal life because you can invest in a portfolio in there. And it's the rates of return over the last 10 years in some of these policies have been extraordinary.
Really?
Now, I don't know that it's always going to be like that, and I can't promise future returns or anything like that, but at least you'd have a shot at making extraordinary rates of return because there is a portfolio of investments in a variable universal life policy that you could use. So you could invest in technology and real estate and basically whatever you wanted almost in your life insurance policy. So it's a great way, especially for high income earners. So all of our athletes generally have a variable universal life policy that they're investing into and that they're going to take money out of at some point in time. It's still going to be life insurance. We're not going to do away with the life insurance, but it's going to provide an actual retirement income.
Oh, nice.
For people.
So you're talking about millionaires?
Not necessarily millionaires, but and I like permanent insurance, Jannelle, because it never goes away.
Yeah.
Term insurance, it's for a term.
Yeah.
And when you need it the most, it's probably not going to be there. Only 3%, approximately 3% of all term insurance policies ever actually pay off a death benefit. And it's not because people aren't dying, it's because they don't have it when they die.
Yeah.
And so I like some permanent insurance in there.
Oh, that sounds good. Charles is about to check you. He said, sir, I've been working at the same place for 17 years. I moved to a new department last week, but was offered an even better job this week at another company. Stepping out on faith and moving on to bigger and better things. And then he went like that.
I stand corrected. Corrected. And I'm glad I stand corrected because it's good for you.
If you're on YouTube, introduce yourself like Oris saying good morning. What's up, Oris? Make sure to subscribe, comment, and hang with us on YouTube. When somebody starts off with sir, you know you're about to be checked. Mm-hmm. So good job, Charles. Miss Theola's here. What's up? Donnella says what's up. And Angie agrees with you. She feels the same way. She says, I don't know if I could do earthquakes or hurricanes. Man, the hurricanes, oh my goodness.
I love a good storm.
Yes.
So we live on Lake Erie, and it's not uncommon to see a storm 15 miles out on the lake coming across, and you could just watch it. Now, remember that Friday a couple of weeks ago where we had those high winds?
Yeah.
I have a seawall, and I had a bunch of deck furniture out there and everything. The lake took it all. The lake just said, waves are like breaking up into my yard, and the wave said, I think I want that.
Yeah.
Deck box. I think I want that chair. And so my wife is happy because she's getting all new cushions and deck furniture. So.
Oh, see? That's cool. Man, she should talk to the lake every once in a while. Put like her shoes out there. Baby, I need new shoes.
If she asked me to go stand out on the seawall in a big storm, we know what's going on.
That's right.
She wants a new husband.
Angela says, I love Dave Day, and she's watching from North Carolina.
All right.
What's up?
North Carolina, also a great state to live in. Lower taxes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of open land available in North Carolina if you don't want to live in Charlotte, which is a lovely city.
But isn't it packed with people?
Well, all cities are packed with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
But there's a place in,
Yeah.
I think it's called Rockport, just into South Carolina, which I really love.
Okay.
I've had a couple of clients living right around that area
that's nice.
over time.
You know, because I've heard about Atlanta. It's like, oh my goodness, people were saying the traffic, like everybody wanted to move there, and now it's like
It's
congested.
the highways are I mean, around Atlanta, there's 8-lane highways, and there'll be a traffic jam.
Oh
It's
my
just a lot of
gosh.
people in a very in a concentrated area. I have been, so this is where I was trying to get COVID. I was trying to get COVID in Atlanta.
Why were you trying to get COVID?
I just want to get it over with. Just get it over with. Just because everybody thought, well, everyone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want COVID. So last year and into this year, I've been to Atlanta like 10 times because we have a bunch of players in that area, and it's a big training area for athletes too.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I don't know exactly why Atlanta, but that general area. So I've been to Atlanta like 10 times. And every time I go there, I think, I have to plan. So going back to the airport, you have to plan this.
Yeah.
Because you are going to get,
Wow.
it doesn't matter if you're going back to the airport at 1 a.m, you are getting caught in a traffic jam. And so you have to allot like an extra hour to get to the airport. And then in Atlanta, the rental car facility is like 14 miles from the airport. You get on this tram and you're riding and you're riding and you're riding. Like, could they have built this any closer?
For real. Oh, Charles says Atlanta wants y'all to go back home. We had enough people. Wow, Charles, you're a little snippy today. What's wrong with you?
First, he gets mad because I say he can't keep a job.
Then go home.
You know what they do to a lot of people they don't like in the department?
What?
They promote them.
Oh, he got you. He got you, Charles.
Hey, Charles, you're promoted.
Yeah, good job, Charles. Angela says they're just vacationing in Topsail, North Carolina. She's a Northeast Ohio girl. Topsail. So you like North Carolina to vacation?
Yeah, there's beautiful, beautiful areas. A lot of mountains there. If you like to hike, it's is Tabletop Mountain in North Carolina, I think.
That's very well known?
Yes, yes.
You know what I love? Oh my gosh, New Hampshire. Do you like New Hampshire?
I go to a place skiing in New Hampshire called Loon Mountain.
Yeah.
We drive there and we ski and it's real skiing. It's like mountain skiing.
Oh, wow.
And so the first run that we usually do takes about 20 minutes to get down.
Oh,
it's beautiful. Yeah, I love New
cool.
Hampshire.
And the ocean, like we grew up going to New Hampshire for vacation. It's just so like the landscape is amazing.
We're going to Acadia National Park in July.
Where's that? In
Maine.
Oh, that's
so we're gonna,
cool.
We're going to drive
Maine
through.
awesome.
I rented a motorhome.
Oh, that's
I convinced
cool.
my wife to rent a motorhome.
And on Friday, guess where he's going? And he's going to broadcast from?
Greece.
He's going to Greece, y'all.
Yeah.
So what are the top activities you're going to do?
I'm going to eat
Okay.
Greek food.
Is that your first time there?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to hike. We're going to go see the Acropolis. We're going to Santorini, and then to Crete, and then to Athens and back home.
Oh,
And
nice.
so my wife does love to travel.
Yeah.
And she's a really great traveler. She's
Yeah.
super easy to travel with. Because I have, they call me Travel Dave. Mm-hmm. Because when I travel for business, I have, like, bam, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
And when you travel with me, it's also how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because this has been my life for like 25 years.
Yeah.
Going to the airport, getting on planes, doing this. And so they say, could you not be Travel Dave when we travel?
Yeah, for
and
real.
so I'm learning. I'm getting better.
That's good. You calm it down.
Well, it's calmer than what it was.
Because I heard, I always tell y'all that Len, when we first got married, said there is a way, his way, of folding and making the bed. Dave did that. That is crazy. And Levon did the same thing I did. I was like, well, then you're going to have to do the laundry then.
I looked at her and I said, who would fold underwear like this?
And first of all, fold underwear? That is so weird. Who does that?
What do you... I don't
Len folds it, but
and there's a specific way to fold it.
No, dude, we don't need to fold underwear. You are troubled. Fold underwear. There are a lot of people.
What do you do with underwear? You just toss them in the drawer?
That's what I would do. They're it's not even. Now, do you use boxers? Those are big, I guess. So that's.
Do we want to get this?
We've talked about this, and people are very disturbed that people fold underwear. Charles was one of them.
You know, can I say what kind of I shop? I get these. It's the only thing that I buy at H&M.
Oh, yeah.
So everything else at H&M, like if I go to buy a shirt at H&M, the armholes are like this big. I'm like, who is wearing these shirts?
You're right.
I could make a muscle and bust out. I feel like the Incredible Hulk when I wear something from H&M.
Brian
And I
should
love
buy
their
those
briefs.
shirts.
I love their briefs. So I
yeah.
fold them in half, and then I have a system.
What's the system?
Well, the new ones go under the pile, and so you're never.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And then my
that's good.
socks get folded. Of course, socks get folded.
Well, yeah. And then Len has, you know those crew socks?
Mm-hmm.
They all look the same. And so I just folded the socks, and Len was like, these two don't go together. And I'm like, babe, they're like the same thing. He's like, no. And then he goes, look at the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, that's annoying. Who
T-shirts?
is looking at that?
I am. I am.
And t-shirts, how do you fold your t-shirts?
I take them and I go in, and then I lay them down and I fold them over and then over again, and then they lay in the drawer so I could see them.
I like that. I do that.
Yeah, so they're like
you stand them up.
Yeah, stand them up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Instead of like one on top of the other, then you can't see what you. Yeah.
So we got new bedroom furniture
like
last
that.
year, and we were in Amish country, and I said let's get furniture that our kids would want when we die. Okay, that's how good I want this furniture. I want them to be putting taped names underneath.
Yeah.
I know I claim that. And so so Levon says, well, here's what I want. I want a dresser. And I'm like, I want a big, giant mule chest the size of a dump truck.
Wow.
And so they're like, well, how big do you want it? I said, and the thing about where we had it made is you just tell them how wide you want it. They're going to make it that way. And so I have this mule chest where I could have another 100 T-shirts and I would still have room for it.
Man.
Love it.
Wow.
Love it.
Sarah says, Dave, I feel so validated today. I put things away the same way. I am laughing today. Angela says, fold socks or ball them up. My husband folds, I ball them up. Ball them up, girl. You got life out there. You got to go live. Go live. Who got
Sarah is a great woman. I love this woman.
Miss Viola agrees, fold, fold, fold. Mike says, military guys fold underwear and make beds a specific way. Right, Dave?
Yes.
Yo, that makes me think I got this one kid, just for that he needs to go to the military. Oh my goodness. Does the military fix, like, I don't really think I'll send them, but I'm saying, do they fix anybody?
Well, it's
or do
like,
you got some kids that they're like, we can't, like, you got to go home, dude?
there was a couple of kids that... So we were, on Saturdays, they would let us do our laundry in basic training. And so a bunch of us are sitting in the laundry room, and we're on the 3rd floor. And this kid was so distraught about how the drill sergeants were talking to him, not realizing they talk to everybody that way. He comes running by us, and he tried to jump out the window.
What?
But what he didn't realize is this screen was made by the military.
Hello.
So he like goes headfirst in the screen and just bounces right off. And we're just looking at him.
Oh
And he got up
my
to do it again, and we finally realized he's trying to jump out the window.
God.
So we grabbed him and we calmed him down. He's like, they talk to me so mean. I'm like, they talk to everybody mean. That's what they're supposed to do. They sent him home.
They did.
Yeah. But there are guys, there are people that just like the clicking doesn't happen right away.
Yeah.
And so they're basically punishing themselves. When I went to basic training, I realized I'm going to get yelled at and screamed at and do push-ups. It's not personal. They don't really, it's not because they don't like me.
Who taught you that? Like, who got you there?
I had friends that were in the military, and they said, look, just keep your head down and work as hard as you can. Don't work just harder than anybody else. Do the best that you can do.
Wow.
And otherwise, you're selling yourself short.
Yeah.
Or you're setting yourself up on a standard that you can't meet.
Oh,
so
that's
put your
good.
blinders on and go to work.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and it paid off.
Oh, that's good. Angie says kids now wear different color socks. They don't care if they match. Thank you. I am all about that. Because we have a pile of socks that are like alone. A pile. And then I told Len, hey, I got a good idea. Just like wear different socks. He doesn't like it. And so I just tell the kids, like, yo, it's a new, like, do your thing. Thank you. Why are we looking for the pair?
This is why they will never be great.
They all fit you. They're all size 9, size 7.
There you go.
Thank
This
you.
is why our country's in trouble right now, because of these socks.
But if it doesn't fit, just choose a different
Thank
one.
you. Man, y'all complicate life too much.
So if I'm putting on a dress sock and I notice it's got a hole in it, I don't just throw away one sock. They both got to go.
Wow.
I can't have Lone Rangers out there. I don't know where they go, so they're both going. They're Mahatma, Gandhi. Get out. See ya.
Andy says, I like that. Do the best you can do. That would make a great commercial. Dave. Ooh, we got to have you do that, Dave. A commercial.
Look, we do the best we can with the tools we have at the time. You could go back later and you could look at it and say, well, hey, I would have done that different knowing what I know now. But at the time, you did the best you could with what you had.
Good.
And when I went to basic training, I was really immature. Some people would say I'm still really immature. But I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was really the first metamorphosis in my life because that started my path to Christ. Because they let me go to church on Sunday. They said, drill sergeants are out and we're in formation. Like, well, it's Sunday and we got to let you go to church if you want to go. But if you don't go, you got to clean the barracks. I'm like, well, I'm not an idiot. I'm going to church.
Oh, wow.
And I went to a non-denominational church. And for the first time in my life, I felt like, I don't know what it is.
Wow.
But there is something here and I got to come back. And so I kept going back, and that really started my walk with Christ. It was basic training.
Basic training.
Yeah.
Noel Reyes says, hello, Dave.
I love Noel. He's a great guy. I love meeting with him.
Where's he from? Because
He's
Reyes,
from
that's
Lorraine.
that's my maiden name. Reyes is awesome right there. You know what that means? Kings. Like, I'm
Kings?
Royal.
I believe it.
My dad's last name was Reyes.
I believe it.
I was going to say what you said about do the best you can, because, it's what you know at the time. It can be applied to so many things. My friend and I were just talking about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Her oldest is 24, my oldest is 18, and we're at an age where we can look back and be like, oh, we would have done this different. And she was saying how she's kept up a lot by her guilt. We were just like, I love your thought of when you wherever you whenever you made those decisions, you did the best you could with what you knew.
Yes.
How do you apply that to your parenting in terms of dealing with young adults and things you would have done differently?
Well, one thing, I can remember one specific time, my oldest kid, we were in a store and he wanted something, and I was kind of I was being a little hard with him, and he was a couple bucks short on something, and I'm like, well, you're not getting it. And a couple other things that happened over time, and I went back and I apologized.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
You got to give yourself grace.
Yeah.
If you want to be humble, be a parent.
Yes.
Because you're going to find out not only the best about yourself, but sometimes the worst.
Yeah.
And so we got to move on. And I think apologizing genuinely for things that have happened is where I would start.
How do you handle the burden of the consequences that your decisions can have on your child?
Well, we can't live, we're not called to live in shame and guilt.
Yeah.
We are forgiven. We have been forgiven. We have to learn to forgive, and that includes forgiving yourself for, sometimes not the best decisions at the time. But you have to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You did the best you could.
And you're saying the biggest step is starting with an apology and admitting.
Yeah, and and my oldest, I have apologized for several things.
Yeah.
And it is like lifting off a weight.
Yeah.
Because he probably didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? Your kids don't know. They just move out, dad's in a bad mood today or whatever. But you have to learn to forgive yourself. It's important. God forgave you. You are forgiven. And you could live in shame and guilt and let it burden you and drag you down. Or you can offer a sincere apology.
Yeah.
And you got to move on and not make that mistake again.
I like that, and I like that you shared your heart. And I was going to say, don't ever underestimate your apology to your child. My dad, he passed away 10 years ago in July, and he did it years before he passed. He was never emotional. Well, no, he was emotional, but there were some issues. And so he told me one time, I didn't even ask for it. He said, I wish I would have been more emotionally connected to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I just didn't know how to. He said, my dad was never like that. I didn't know. And for a dad to tell their child, I didn't know, to me, that was big. Like, he was showing vulnerability. He was showing, like, I was just doing the best I could.
He could have been rejected. You could have said, you know what? You could have done better. You could have rejected everything he said.
Yes.
So he took a huge risk to do that.
And even the risk of saying, I didn't know what I was, like, I didn't know. Because I think sometimes as parents, even moms do that. You want to come off like, you know, play this game like you know what's going on. And like I told my friend, I'm like, yo, if my teenagers knew, I'm literally like learning as I go.
Right.
And it's
especially
okay
with teenagers.
Oh my goodness, like with my oldest, I literally, like, I'm learning as I go and trust in the Lord big time. But to be honest in your apology and tell your kid, I didn't know, that was powerful for me. So
and not
go ahead
just
and do
over
that.
like hors d'oeuvres or something. It's okay to like take your kid, you know, go out to dinner with them.
Yeah.
Take them someplace and just say, hey, there's something I want to share with you.
Oh,
and
that's good.
you know, just hear me out, and then I'll shut up and let you talk.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that kids realize, and you know, the other thing is, especially like with what you're saying about your dad, I think it's the number one reason why mentoring the older guys or the more experienced women in church, mentoring younger ladies, and even older married women that are like your kids are out of the house and it's you're empty nesters. You're going to need somebody to kind of guide you through some of those things because it's totally different now.
Yes.
Everything you've been doing, they're gone. Now it's just you two. Now what? And I think that mentoring process never stops.
Yeah.
It never stops.
Yeah.
Jesus was always mentoring the disciples. He was always teaching.
Yeah.
And I think our more experienced members of our body should always be teaching.
Yes.
So, you know, somebody's 80 and they're like, well, nobody really needs me anymore. You don't know what you're talking about.
Hello.
You are needed big time.
That's right.
Right now.
That's for many of you listening. Miss Theola, we need you. That's why we're so happy you come on. Sarah says, so true, Dave. We have apologized to our kids as well. Today we're seeing the benefits as our oldest is growing and trusting us as we look to reverse poor parenting decisions. Yeah. Sandra says, wow, Dave, a lot of good and deep insight today. Just what I needed to hear. Thank you, Dave, for being so transparent. Kiki says, very encouraging, Dave. And Angie says, that is so important. I used to take my boys on dates just to have one-on-one time with them. I think I'll start doing it again, even though they're all older. The older kids need you, in the ones that moved out. My mom is around in our city recently, and like, I even tell her, man, it feels good to have a mom.
Yeah.
Because I'm so exhausted being a mom that to just be like, oh, you know, so like your adult kids need you.
Because you have kids that are older and you have young kids too. You're like fighting all these
over
battles.
The place. Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot. And I want to say my 11-year-old, I told him we're going to go on a date soon. Guess what he asked for? He said he wants to go and get sushi. I was like, wow, I'm glad I asked you where you wanted to go.
I love that.
Yeah, so don't take the risk of saying, you get to pick where we going. Okay, cool, sushi.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Dave, for